Christ said, let your light shine. So why can't people come into our temples? We can go into their cathedrals, but they can't come into our temples. You know, if he wants you to let your light shine, then why do we keep things a secret? Is what many people are thinking when they think of the Mormon temple or the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints restored temple on earth.
On the Mormon Hub forum, they asked, what is the difference between secret and sacred in regards to temple worship? And so we picked out a little part here that we really like that says, remember, we don't want this to stay secret, we want you to know it. And so what I think they're trying to say here is, the temple isn't something where we just go there and we don't talk about it when we walk out. We actually talk about plenty of things that happen inside of the temple, like the covenants we make and the promises. However, certain aspects like spiritual connections and personal revelations that we have with Heavenly Father and actual details of covenants we do not divulge because they are sacred in nature. I have several spiritual experiences that are not, even related to the temple that I don't share with people.
Yes.
And we, the Mormon Church, we don't want you to not know what's going on in there. Our main goal is for you to actually know what's going on in there. We will give you a free book called the Book of Mormon, and we will send a bunch of volunteers to your house called Missionaries, and they will teach you all about what we believe, and then you can go inside the temple, and that's like the greatest thing ever.
Yes. Christ did teach his apostles certain things he didn't teach other people. So I wanted to read this from Matthew 13. And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. And so in the same way Christ spoke in parables, the same way certain things in the temple are done in a sort of a metaphorical presentation.
So we wanted to ask some other Mormons about their opinions about secret versus sacred in temples. So we went to BYU campus, like the International Mormon Hub.
We hit the streets.
Hit the streets at BYU. So watch this video.
Welcome to Three Mormons. Today we're at BYU campus asking people about temples.
I'm so uncomfortable right now.
We're here on Three Mormons in the Wilkinson Center at BYU. Sabrina, we have a couple questions about temples. When you are talking to a non-member about temples and they tell you, oh my gosh, isn't that kind of secret? Like what you guys do in there? Like you don't tell anyone? Can you explain to me what the difference is between secret and sacred?
I feel like a secret is like dark and like you don't want to tell people because it's embarrassing. But sacred is like it's divine and like really special to you. So you want to keep it like close to your heart and not share it with the world because then it won't be special.
Do you baptize dead people in Mormon temples?
No, we don't. It's more that we are baptized in proxy for people who have already passed on. We try to give people the opportunity to accept that baptism if they never had the opportunity while they were here on earth. But no, there are no corpses ever in Mormon temples.
So, Justin, lots of people, they feel like the temple is a secret thing that we do, but we explain it more as a sacred thing that we do. How would you explain it?
There's things that we do in the temple that really are so sacred, like ordinances that Heavenly Father or God has given to us to help us on our path, that we really shouldn't disclose those in such a casual situation, such a casual environment, And so it's not that we want to keep it away from people. We want to give those things to other people, but we have to do it in the right way, the way that God organized it.
What would you say to somebody who's preparing to go into the temple?
I would say to study the plan of salvation and to be really excited.
We're here with Josh, and lots of people have a question about what's inside that little tote bag when people walk into the temple.
So what's in the bag is some articles of other clothing that you put on. It's something that you only put on inside the temple, but it's something that it's more special to the situation of being inside, that it's set apart to do something nicer inside. Like you're not just gonna go wear a suit when you're going to go ride a skateboard. You'll wear a suit when you're gonna go to like a really fancy party. You're gonna go meet up with some really important people in your life. You're only gonna put on the stuff that are inside the bag that you want to keep separated for this special kind of occasion.
What is inside of the bags you guys bring to the temples?
We have some special clothes to bring in that are sacred to us.
Can non-Mormons see those clothes, or?
In certain circumstances, such as like a person is buried in their temple clothes, so you'll see them then.
I actually did not know that. Fun fact, never been to a funeral.
All right, we're here with Jake. So when you go to the temple, give me a rundown. Why do you go to the temple?
I go to the temple kind of to get away from the world, kind of the stress of school and work and everything. I usually try to go once a week, and it's just a time for me to kind of put everything else aside and just kind of devote some time to myself and to God.
I love that. That's great. Does the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, do they invite people to learn about the temple?
Yes, they have open houses and you can walk through the temple.
I know, that's the greatest thing. In your mind, what does a temple recommend?
I think a temple recommend to me is just saying that you are living your life in a really righteous way and doing the best you can to follow Christ. And so you are allowed to participate in the really sacred things that happen in the temple.
Perfect.
Are there sacrificial lambs that you use in the temple?
No.
Are you sure?
100% positive.
Have you ever seen one?
No, and cleaning it up would be murder.
I've always wanted to be like you. That's why I wear my hat backwards. How do you feel about that?
That's great. Well, you shouldn't want to be like me, but...
Who should I want to be like?
Jesus.
And that's why we're here, folks. We're here to be like Jesus.
Yes, we are. That's why we're here.
So it's clearly obvious that they don't have an issue talking about the temple, what goes on in the temple. It's just there are some things that they keep sacred and they understand that difference. And I really appreciate how they can talk about those things openly with anyone. I mean, you can ask a Mormon, hey, what do you do in the temple? They'll tell you, it's a place of peace. I go there to feel close to the Lord. It is his house. You know.
The church even put out a video that shows the temple garments and the temple clothes that we wear inside the temple, so you can actually see what it is that we're wearing all of the time, and it's on the internet, and the church put it out. Kwaku has no opinion on this.
I wasn't there when they were videotaping and talking to people.
You just saw the video.
I know. I just saw the video. I feel bad because I wasn't there. I wanted to be there and I wasn't there. I had to do a thing and I'm sorry.
Tinder date?
No, I am not on Tinder. One thing I'm gonna ask because I know people are thinking this. Okay.
Psychic.
In the New Testament, Christ came and he cleansed the temple, and we did not use the temple for hundreds and hundreds of years. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people who are familiar with the New Testament go, well, Christ came and he abolished the temple, so why do you guys have a temple now? Well, it's important to remember a few things. One, Christ wasn't against the word temple. So the things they did in the temple back then and the things we do in the temple now.
The commercial acts, the gambling.
Yes. Second, the temple was brought back to earth because of the revelation and the heavenly presence given to Joseph Smith and the keys of the priesthood to bring back the temple because God wanted it on earth at this time. So that's the difference. It's not the exact same thing as it was in the New Testament, and it was mandated by the heavens.
Temples are awesome, and you should go there.
It's a great place. We don't make fun of it. We don't want to mock it. There's nothing to be mocked about. It's something very serious to us and very precious.
It's literally God's house.
Literally.
So we'd love to hear what you guys have to say about secret versus sacred and other cool things about the temple. So comment below about your favorite temple and all of the other things about the things we talked about.
And remember, if she doesn't want to get married at the temple you want to get married at, then she's not the one.
We at least need 5 seconds of silence for just awkwardness. Yeah, because Kwaku, you say awkward things all the time.
Weird.
Kwaku, do you go on
Can you do like a something?
The girl gets to pick the temple.
You know, honestly,
the girl
we're still on the
gets
show
to
right now.
pick the temple.
We're still on the show.
Okay, let's try the ending one more time.
No, we're still on the show. It's okay. You're still awkward. That's why. You're just an awkward person.
I'm really not awkward.
You were just awkward just then.
Okay, it's for comedic effect. I'm pretty smooth.
So awkward. Kwaku's awkward.
Okay,